Hello there, GFA. I'm Novora, and I am looking to become a part of your upcoming Games Finished Adequately events next month in Toronto. I have had the opportunity to get into speedrun recently through North American Speedrunners Marathon Association, and so now I'm looking to come and join up with you guys for your upcoming event. So I'll be playing Final Fantasy XIV for you today. Unlike what I normally do, which is a dungeon run, I know you guys are looking for something a little shorter, and a dungeon run through this with the character I currently have would take over an hour. So, what to do? So, I had to ponder this for a few days, and ultimately I decided to give you guys a little bit of a showcase of the memories of Final Fantasy's past, I guess you could say. If you're familiar with Final Fantasy, you're probably familiar with the Aeons / Espers / Eidolons / Guardian Forces, etc., known as Ifrit, Shiva, Ramu, Leviathan, those guys. And throughout Final Fantasy history, they've been used for summoning to help you out in battle, but here, not so much in Final Fantasy XIV. In fact, by and large, those guys who have helped you out throughout the years, they're the bad guys. And so we're going to be showing off quite a number of those fights, which are known as trials, as well as a few extra. So all told, we'll be showing off a series of 8 of these particular challenges, and I will be doing them primarily with the warrior class that I'm currently set up as, which is known as being currently the most overpowered, which is Red Mage, with my warrior of light known as Mathia. So, in order to get this started, first of all, I need to go over to the inn over here in this city known as Gridania. This will strictly help with load times. So once we get started, I should also point as well, the areas we're going to be going to as well will be set up in such a way so that you can get the chance to see all the cutscenes to the intros of these particular challenges. And they will also be done on what will be considered the hard modes. There are normal versions, which can be done as a party of 4, but those will take a little longer. Not only that, if I was to do them solo, they would be done in a few seconds. So it's better for me to do this on what's considered the hard modes, so that it helps things out a little bit longer, makes the challenge a little more competitive, that sort of thing. So, why don't you say we go ahead and get started? So time will start when I get access to my first challenge of these 8. So we're going to be starting off, since I did mention a number of these previously encountered Final Fantasy Eidolons / Espers / Aeons, etc., etc., we're going to start with Ifrit in the Bowl of Embers on hard mode. And we are going to also make sure to set up for an undersized party. This basically allows me to fight solo without restrictions, and I should probably reset this because it decided to turn that off on me. Stuff that can happen before the clock begins, right? So yeah, why do you say we take a trip to the Bowl of Embers and confront Ifrit himself? So each of these challenges gives, if you have the intros, an opportunity to see these guys' grand entrances. In this game, they're referred to as Primals. And so yeah, giving you an idea of what Ifrit does, he comes out when there's a solar eclipse into a ring of fire, and we gotta go ahead and fight him. Yeah, if you think he looks intimidating now, wait until we actually get started. Alright, here we go. So I'm just going to hit him with a whole bunch of the abilities that I have as a red mage. Try and damage him as much as possible. And also as well, I'll also be building up my red mage gauge, which you see on the right hand side of your screen. This is typically something that will be used to help me to let me know how strong my attacks can get. So this is very important information for me as we continue on. I don't need to worry about running away from these infernos. If because they are not going to damage me all that much due to the fact that my character is incredibly overpowered. What I do need to do, though, is deal with these infernal nails. These are important to get rid of, because if I don't get rid of them, they are going to cause an epic fail, which is that Ifrit, as well as any other of the Primals who I fight in this journey, will one-shot me without remorse and will have to start over. And we don't want that. I also have the added benefit with Red Mage of being the ability to cure myself, so that definitely helps. But yeah, by and large, a lot of these battles that we'll be doing will be done in similar ways. Got the quick little run off. Now here's gonna split off into 3 sections that we cannot damage, but he's just gonna happily dash across the screen with his little clones. And then we'll wait for him to come back. Now we're just gonna go ahead and finish him off. You can also ignore this radiant plume, and I can finish him off with something like a flare. And he's beaten in less than 2 minutes. And there we go. We won't bother picking up the treasures because all that stuff is a lot weaker than everything that I have. I have been playing this game for 5 years now, and I pretty much have all the best stuff I can possibly get for myself currently. Alright, so moving on from Ifrit, we will now move on to the Howling Eye. Home to a primal that you are probably not familiar with. In fact, I didn't even know about this primal until I played this game, known as Garuda. And Garuda happens to live in a swirling tempest. And so this is her descent from the heavens. And as you can see, she's covered in feathers and wings. Yeah, there's her scary face. And her scary boobs, too. And when she lets out her anger... Yeah, laughing about the fact that she summoned a tornado. And we're gonna have to deal with a few of these over the course of this particular battle. Yeah. Hello there. Man, those eyes are creepy. Okay, let's take the fight to her. So we've already caused her to run. Now what? She's going to do a really powerful attack called Mistral Song, but we're just going to simply ignore the effects of this because it's not going to bother me that much. Because like I said, my warrior is really overpowered. What we will need to do though is start casting Scatter. This is going to destroy her Razor Plumes. The Razor Plumes are going to start destroying those pillars over there if we leave them be. And we don't want them to do that because when she does her ultimate attack, she will actually have the opportunity to destroy us if we leave too many of those pillars damaged. So it's important that we keep those things alive as much as possible, but now we don't need to actually. We can just kill them off because we can. But now they're pretty much pointless for her. They're not going to be of any use to her at this point. What we will need to do, though, is start moving when she does things like this. We'll just keep the damage going as much as we possibly can. And eventually she will bring out some reinforcements to give her a hand. Or we might be able to actually get past those. If we're lucky, nope, she is going to get away. Sadly, she did get away. But I was able to stop her and prevent her from getting her reinforcements out. So we were able to skip that phase and beat her in a minute 40. And so there we go. She's done away with. Alright, moving on to our next challenge. We're gonna skip past the naval because this particular one is one I cannot currently win. We will come back to... Actually, why don't we just do this now? Because, yeah, you're probably familiar with Mughals from other Final Fantasy games. This is probably my favorite fight. Because of the fact that we are fighting Mughals. Because throughout Final Fantasy history, Mughals are known for being benevolent characters. But this is one of the rare exceptions when they're not. Because we've actually pissed these guys off. And if you are someone who loves Tim Burton's movie The Nightmare Before Christmas, you're gonna love the music to this particular battle. Because it reminds us, those of us who play the game, of the intro song to The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, they're all asking who I am. And they don't like the fact that I'm here. Yeah, they're saying they need to defend the king. And yeah, these Mughals do have a king, but he's not gonna show up yet. So, while we wait for him to arrive, let's go ahead and beat up his subjects. Hope you guys are singing along to the Night Before Christmas theme because, surprise, as we kill more Mughals, the song gets faster. Right, you're dead. Well, I can't really call them dead because we're gonna see more of these guys later. Alright, that takes care of you. Then we're gonna see more Mughals come up, and more of the song getting faster. Just keep it going. Never should have come here? Well, too bad for you, you're getting your butt beat. He's down. Now the song is even faster. He goes down in pretty much one dash attack. And now the music returns to normal as these Mughals all get back up on their feet and decide they need reinforcements. Specifically, their king. So the king of all Mughals is going to appear with some flashy light shows. There he is. Hello there. Sorry about the mess. So he's going to use his ultimate attack. Thing is, we actually want to try and get everyone grouped up together as much as possible. Because that will actually help out me as much as possible. Ooh, ooh. Wow, I actually survived that. That actually is not supposed to typically happen. But if I don't move soon... Yeah, I'm in trouble, actually. Probably save myself a little bit. Oh! Oh, that's gonna hurt. Good thing I have so much health. Yeah, good thing I have so much health, or else this would be going a lot worse. Yeah, I can say that I got away with that one, actually. Because what's supposed to happen is if I can kill off 4 of his subjects before he unleashes his ultimate attack a second time, it will not hurt me as much. So yeah, I was trying to group attack them as much as possible, but it didn't quite go the way I had planned. Nonetheless, we did manage to get away with a win in 2.5 minutes. It's not bad. Alright, let's move on now to our next battle. This one will take us to a more familiar member of the Final Fantasy XIV Esper family. And so, we're heading out to sea this time to duel with Leviathan. So to get us there, this ship is going to be towing a floating platform coming into screen right here. And it's going to take us where Leviathan is, right there. Hey there, Captain. Yeah. Directing his crew to go to arms. They come with cannons and they're firing warning shots, which Leviathan easily deflects. And so here's Leviathan's rebuttal. So he sends them our way. Yeah, lets the captain know exactly what he thinks of them, and makes his move. Yeah, the captain and his ship are in a bit of trouble, but they're setting us up so that we can get the chance to fight him. So he's gonna turn his ship away and leave us adrift on our floating platform. He's giving us a send-off, and we have to come back alive. As we get this little vantage point. But here he comes, Leviathan. So yeah, sadly, this one is not the same one that swept up Paradia and turned her into a young lady. No, this guy's got vengeance on his mind. First thing we need to do, weaken Leviathan to the point where he goes below 80% or below 90%. That'll cause him to dive under, and then he will pop up randomly. And then he'll use his body to slam onto the floating platform. And now we have to fight him straight up. Now you'll also notice that there's a meter for his tail. Both his head and his tail will take the same damage. So it doesn't matter what you hit. He also brings a little bit of reinforcements from time to time, so we'll have to deal with them too. Now if we can have it in such a way where Leviathan is also getting attacked, that's more of a bonus for us. Now we need to deal with these gyre streams. Now these gyre streams are going to start draining energy away from what's known as our elemental converter, and we need this thing to stay alive as much as possible, and if we don't, we're going to be screwed by the ultimate attack that Leviathan can do. Now I had paralysis on me there, but we've been able to remedy that situation. Now I can heal myself. Alright, we've caused him to dive under. Now he's going to dash across the length of the floating platform before he gives us another warning shot. Now here's where it gets interesting. He'll slam onto the platform again, but now we need to get ourselves a little bit of separation. The reason why we need this separation is because we'll get a message on screen that will say that the elemental converter is now operable. We wait for that attack to happen, then we have to get this off in time before he goes for his ultimate attack. We got it off. So when Leviathan attempts this, normally that would be a one-shot kill. Thankfully though, it doesn't work out that way. So, now we're pretty much fine to beat him up as we see fit. And now it's on. So now it's just a matter of us burning him down. In fact, let's see if I can do this. And this should be enough. There we go. Beaten in about 3 minutes. Yeah, he has a little rockin' intro for part 2. In fact, some of the enemies that we're going to be fighting have such variances in their music. Started with one score for the first part, and then when they get to their second half, they switch up the music. Alright, off to our next challenge. This will take us to the Striking Tree, home of the fabled Ramu, master of thunder and lightning. Now, unlike a lot of the other primals in Final Fantasy XIV, where they're all just pissed off because of one reason or another, Ramu actually, he's a little more clear in terms of thinking, as it were. You wouldn't have to play the game in order to understand what I'm talking about, but suffice it to say that a guy like Ramu here does things a little bit differently than a lot of his contemporaries. As the way, in terms of the way that he conducts himself as opposed to most others. So, using thunder and lightning, he strikes down onto our field of play where we will take him on. So there's the man himself with an insanely huge beard. Yeah, basically as long as he is tall. Alright, it's on. So here we have to do a lot of things. First of all, we'll get attacked with this thunderstorm ability no matter what. It cannot be dodged. Another thing that will happen when we get him down to low enough health is that he will summon some reinforcements. And this is something that we've seen before, but they are required to get beat, or else we will lose automatically. Now this chaotic strike is going to freeze me in place. Thankfully it's not devastating that this happens to me. We're just going to keep casting away on this guy. Now we should get to the point soon where he does summon his reinforcements. And when he does, we need to be ready. Also need to give myself a little bit of a boost on health. Because yeah, we're going to continue to be targeted and attacked with this move. Plus on top of that, he's also using his reinforcements to hurt us. So it's essential that we outrun him. But also need to keep myself alive too. Alright, that one's gone. There's still one more though. Okay, I'm gonna get frozen out, but it's not the worst thing. We'll survive this just fine. But I do need him to do his move where we can be allowed to move again, because I'm frozen now. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we knew that this was going to come back, and that he would do this again. And now we can resume our offense. Okay, now here I do have to run as quickly as I can to get the causality off of me. Because that is damage that continues to remain in effect. I also want to try and avoid stepping into too many of those blue orbs to avoid a move called static condensation, which can actually make Ramu's attacks even more powerful against me. So now I'm going to go ahead and start attacking with my sword. We'll give him a little blast over Holy this time. Hit him for 33,000 points on a crit hit. So give myself a little bit of healing. And also get rid of his Arbiter. That takes care of him. Now, the static condensation will never be worse than 3 stacks of it. So that does give me a bit of a buffer. But the thing is, these things will appear randomly. And since they do appear randomly, it's something we do have to keep in mind as we're going along. And I do need to keep making sure that I'm safe here, as far as my health is concerned. But we should have them soon. There we go. Still, since he has been defeated, unlike his contemporaries, he'll just simply absorb all the electrical energy that he had and just disappear. That took about 4 minutes. Yeah, as you'll notice, the fights that we're doing as we go along do get longer. Okay, so next up in store will be Shiva at the XIV Amphitheater. Now, what makes Shiva truly unique is the fact that she really is, unlike all the other primals that we've seen who just come out of thin air because they were summoned by their underlings for one reason or another, Shiva works differently as far as her summoning. We have this young lady over here with the really long hair. And she wants to talk with us first.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace.
This is what she claims.
A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down.
Yeah, like, ah, man.
We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
So she basically allowed herself to be frozen over and be used as a host for Shiva. And so this is what she looks like transformed as such. Yeah, in all her icy glory that will make even Elsa jealous. Yeah, and that hair is scary. And so, away we go to confront Shiva now. Now, Shiva has some really powerful attacks that she can use, including using a huge chunk of ice blocks and just throws them at us. Yeah, I'm hoping we'll get to show that off. She also requires you to move around a bit, too. Yeah, there's the move I was talking about. So now that we've damaged her so much, she'll call in some reinforcements. And we have to try and get them out of the way, just like some of the others that we've already defeated. Let's get everyone in so we can hit you all at once. So now Shiva's gonna try and run away. And we want to kill her friends before she gets this move off, or else her attack will be even stronger. Still, she'll try and freeze us out. And suddenly the music turns into something that you would expect to find in a Gran Turismo game. Yeah, Daiki Kasho, eat your heart out. I mean, the music just screams Gran Turismo. I'm gonna go ahead and start using my sword attacks. And finish her off with a little bit of flair. And finish her off in less than 2 minutes. And since she ran out of gas, she can no longer be Shiva. And the young lady just goes back to normal. She actually plays a significant role later on after this. So yeah, you don't see her beyond just this point. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead to our last 2 challenges here. Next is Battle on the Big Bridge. I'm actually going to switch classes here to Dragoon. Yeah, for the last 2 battles, I will be switching to Dragoon for our next battle on the Big Bridge. Because this will pit us against one of the more notorious characters in Final Fantasy who's not in the ranks of Primals / Espers / etc. Now, for our battle at the Big Bridge, we fight against the fabled Gilgamesh. Yeah, if you're familiar with Gilgamesh battles in Final Fantasy games, you know what he's capable of. And yes, this is the music he is known for. So let's just go in there and rush at him. You also notice a green chicken on the field. It actually is quite hilarious, this little green chicken. It's supposed to be Enkidu, his demonic companion, but not here.
It's Toad, your favorite.
Plus, yeah, he can turn us into toads and have his little Enkidu chicken chase after us. And this is going to keep happening until we get turned back to normal. And then he also shrinks us too, which severely weakens our attack. But yeah, even when small, we're still doing decent damage for what we are at currently.
Rocket punch!
And then he hits me for 30 seconds, and then I can't do anything else. So, since we're under confusion, all I can do is just wait this out.
Fine, I admit it.
Thankfully, though, we damaged him enough that he stops attacking.
Fighting all 8 of you.
And he did
Just
say
so much
8
for me.
because this is tradition done with 8 players, not 1.
Not? Ha! I lied! Have at thee!
Alright, so he'll do that. But we have to keep attacking him and force him to run away, because he doesn't like his weapon.
So betrayed. Goodness gracious. I just remembered
Yeah,
something.
so he runs off, and we cannot damage him until we get to the next platform. So in the meantime, we have to deal with his little bird friends. We can take some of them with us as well. Yeah, looks like we're getting damage on them pretty well. Now that we've got the riffraff out of the way, back to Gilgamesh.
I must say, I quite enjoy this puzzle. I feel we've gained an understanding.
I think so too.
An understanding. I will pound you, silly! Ha-ha!
Yeah, he's made me small again. So here really is just a matter of trying to stay out of his AoE attacks as much as possible. Even though they won't hurt us that much, because we are small, it will build up over time. Alright, so now I've been turned into a toad again, so now the chickens will come chasing. Not only that, we'll have to dodge the whirlwinds that Gilgamesh has now put out on the field. Alright, so now we're back to normal. Yeah, he really likes to be a cheap bastard. He really likes to do this. Yeah, he's known to do this a lot. Normally what's supposed to happen is that you just have someone who can just be willing to take all this on their own in a tank role. Get away, I don't think I did. No, but it didn't damage me all that much. Just need to be made big again.
Ugh, I won't go down so easily.
Yes, you just did. In 417. So now that he's been beaten...
Well then.
Yeah. Even when shrunk, I still beat you.
That's enough of a beating for now.
And so he runs away, taking his green Enkidu chicken with him. Yeah, he thinks he's gonna use this chicken to fly away. Except... yeah. And we're just left there like... ugh. And just think to ourselves, what just happened? Alright, so that's 7 of them. That just leaves us with 1 more for this particular run. And this one is going to be the last, of course, but it's also the last within what's known as a Realm Reborn, known as the Steps of Faith. And I do have a special incentive I would like to offer to all of you at GFA. This was a particular challenge that takes place on another bridge, but it's rather long, and it goes... the boss will go from point A to point B at a fixed timer. We cannot stop him from moving towards his ultimate goal. It's our job to stop him from getting there. And here's the incentive I would like to offer to you guys. Since you guys are raising money for sick kids, if we can raise a certain amount of money, depending on when this goes up, if I get chosen, if we reach a certain amount of money, I would like to attempt this challenge blindfolded. And I know what you're thinking, like, me attempt this blindfolded? Well, hey, we've seen what TMR can do in a game like Battletoads, right? But yes, if I do get accepted by GFA to do this run, depending on when it happens, and during the course of the event, if we reach enough money for Sick Kids Hospital, I would like to attempt to blindfold this challenge. Because yeah, you'll notice it's not just the main boss, Bishop. He has a whole bunch of little friends that like to come and say hello too. Now what's normally supposed to happen in this battle is that there are a bunch of other things that you can use other than just us fighting normally. There's also cannons, there's catapults, there's snares, there's explosives. There's just a whole bunch of things that you have to use working as a team of 8 to defeat Bishop and bring him down. When this was originally introduced in Final Fantasy XIV back in 2015 at the end of the Realm Reborn storyline, this was so hard that it actually caused quite a bit of an issue. So much so that unless you had perfect teamwork with a bunch of random strangers, you were not going to get through this challenge. And so, as a result, pretty much anyone who got through on their very first try pretty much said never again. And if they ever got this in what's known as a try roulette, where you do challenges like the ones I've been showing off during the course of this run, if they got this, they bailed immediately without even giving it a second thought. And it got so bad of this particular situation constantly happening to people that it ran the real risk of a very, very small group of people getting through to the expansion that was pre-released a few months after this battle was introduced. So, out of desperation, Square Enix was left with no choice but to nerf this fight. And to give more people the opportunity, the chance to actually get in and do this fight and clear it. Thankfully now we're in a situation where, since people like myself can attempt to do this solo, without potential incidents such as those, I can do a battle like this and be able to do it in about 2.5 minutes, that I would like to try and attempt this blindfolded. And there's one last thing I should show off for once we defeat Bishop. Keep an eye on my character's head. Yeah, I love it when he wiggles his ears. That is adorable. That is adorable and so lovable. Also, by the way, time ends on the leaving the dungeon, and that's time. And so there you go, ladies and gentlemen of GFA. I would like to see if this can get brought into the upcoming event next month. And if so, it would certainly be a wonderful opportunity to show off Final Fantasy XIV in a speedrunning capacity because, yeah, lots of people who play MMOs really don't think that there is potential for speedrunning, but as you've seen from me today, it is something that can happen. And I would certainly encourage you guys to give this a look, and like I said, if it gets accepted and we raise enough money for sick kids, I would love to attempt the final challenge with the Steps of Faith blindfolded. I think it would certainly be a wonderful addition to your event, and I would hope that it encourages even more people to come out and donate. So, thanks everyone at GFA for your consideration, and hopefully I will be seeing you guys again soon. So, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll be hearing from you in the near future. Take care, everyone.